Hello friends, you're welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we'll be looking at a full funding scholarship at both the graduate and undergraduate level. Okay, so for the undergraduates, your 4 years study in the school, your tuition fee and any other fees will be catered for. Your health insurance will also be catered for. You will be given a new computer in your first year, and the annual travel between your home country and then the place where you're going to study in the United States will also be catered for. For the graduate level, you're going to receive a scholarship worth from 10,000 to full tuition, with an average beginning from 30,065 US dollars per academic year. So this is what we're going to look at. If you were interested in knowing more about this, I'll recommend you watch the video to the end. Friends, it's your girl Kisiwa, and I'm back again with another scholarship opportunity. And if you are new here, you're welcome to join my family. I share content on study abroad, scholarship opportunities, internships, and there are so many scholarships that are currently ongoing. Okay, so you can go through them and you apply or try and apply to as many as you can for the 2025-2026 academic year. So let's move on to today's video. Today's scholarship program is the Ken Scholar Program. This program was founded by Dottie and Bob King. They're a couple and they're philanthropists, and their main aim is to alleviate global poverty. The best way they think they can do this is to look for the best people, equip them, and they believe those people will be able to fix the problem that is the global poverty, alleviating global poverty across the globe. So the mission of this scholarship program is to prepare today's young scholars from developing countries to be tomorrow's leaders in alleviating global poverty. Now, the program seeks low-income students from developing nations who are interested in alleviating poverty in their home countries. And I mentioned earlier that the Ken Scholar Program is a bachelor's scholarship program. Okay, so the scholar will receive 4 years scholarship and an extensive mentorship and leadership training. Now, upon graduation, you have to return home to tackle poverty issues, supported by that Mort alumni network. Now, this couple, the philanthropists, they have partnered with that Mort College, so you'll be schooling in this college for 4 years on a full scholarship, and you receive the mentorship and training and guidelines to how you can alleviate poverty in your home country. Now, I've already mentioned the benefit of the scholarship. You're going to study at Dartmouth for 4 years at no cost to either the students or their families. And you're also going to receive health insurance, a new computer in your first year, and annual travel between Dartmouth and your home country for free. All of these will be catered for in the scholarship. So they encourage every student who want to elevate poverty in their home country to apply to this program. Now, let's look at how you can apply to this program. So it states here that if you are interested in becoming a Ken Scholar, you should apply to Dartmouth, and in applying to Dartmouth for the scholarship, they look out for some characteristics of the student. Now, you should be involved in your community, and you should have passion about creating positive change. You should be interested in elevating poverty in your own country. You should be capable of succeeding at a top U.S. university. Now, if I didn't mention this, Dartmouth is one of the Ivy Leagues in the United States, okay, one of the top universities in the United States. You should also be driven to success in whatever you do, and you should be proficient in English because your programs will be taken in English. And to be considered for this scholarship, it says that there is no separate application or there is no special application. Instead, each applicant must complete a common application and in applying to one of the programs in that mod. So let's take a look at the programs you can apply to that mod to be considered for the Kent Scholarship. Okay, so they have grouped their programs. So under art and performing arts, the majors are art history, film and media studies, music, studio art and theater. Under the Department of Engineering, the majors are engineering sciences, biomedical engineering sciences, engineering physics, human-centered design, material science, and Bachelor of Engineering. Under humanities, we have Asian societies, culture and languages, classics, English, French and Italian, German studies, philosophy, religion, East European, Eurasian and Russian studies, and Spanish and Portuguese. For the interdisciplinary programs, we have African and African American studies, cognitive science, comparative literature, environmental studies, international studies, Jewish studies, Latin America, Latino and Caribbean studies, linguistics, medieval and resonance studies, Middle Eastern studies, Native American studies, quantitative social sciences, women's gender and sexuality studies. And the physical and life sciences department, we have the majors to be biological sciences, chemistry, climate science, computer science, earth science, environmental studies, mathematics and physics and astronomy. And the social sciences, the majors are anthropology, economics, education, geography, government, history, neuroscience, psychological and brain sciences, public policy, and sociology. So these are the undergraduate programs you can apply to be considered for the Kent Scholarship. Now let's look at the application process. So to be considered for early admission as an international student, you should submit your application by November 1st, and you're going to receive a decision by mid-December, and you have to apply through the common application. Okay, you apply through the common application. So yeah, that is it for the application deadline to be considered for early admission. There are other dates as well. We'll look at that. You have to pay an application fee of $90. However, there is a waiver, and we will look at that. So for you to be considered for the application fee waiver, then you have to request for a fee waiver, which will not disadvantage your candidacy in any way. You don't, the application fee waiver will not disqualify you or disadvantage your candidacy in any way. Kindly take note of that. So, application fee waiver is available for any student who is not able to pay for the application fee. Now, for the application components, you need an application fee or an application fee waiver. You have to apply through the common application. Then there is that mod writing supplement, which you have to look at. Now, this supplement include questions specific to that one that help the admission committee gain a better sense of how that one and you might be a good fit for each other. Okay, so there are some questions you're going to answer when submitting your application, and you will need a secondary school report with transcript, school profiles, and a counselor's evaluation. So a counselor's evaluation is a written statement completed by the applicant's school counselor that addresses the applicant's academic performance, extracurricular engagement, and personal character. So every high school has a school counselor. So you just have to speak with your school counselor and then go for this evaluation. Then you need two teachers evaluation. You need two recommendation from your teachers. And with this also, it's a written statement completed by an instructor from an academic course that addresses the applicant's academic performance, engagement with other matters and classmates, and personal character. So yeah, these are the components of your application. You also need SAT or ACT. Now, there is also an additional application component, which is a peer recommendation. Now, the peer recommendation is a written statement of support for the applicant candidacy completed by anyone the applicant consider a peer. It should not be someone who is in a supervisory role in the applicant's life. So a friend can recommend you, your colleague, your classmates can also give a written statement to support your application. And the last is for those in the art session. So if you're an art student, you need an art portfolio for your that. Now, for international students, you are required to submit some standardized tests. Okay, now additional standardized testing options for students who attend school outside the US. So TOEFL or IELTS or the Duolingo English test or Cambridge C1 or C2 unless English is your first language or language of instruction at your current secondary school or post-secondary school. So if you meet any of this requirement, that is if English is your first language or the language of instruction at your secondary school or post-secondary school is English, you don't need to submit a TOEFL or IELTS or the Duolingo English test or the Cambridge C1 or C2. Now, for the application fee waiver, we're going to look at how you can request for an application fee waiver. So, my international students should kindly pay attention here. So, if paying for the application fee will cause unusual financial hardship for you or your family, you may be eligible for a waiver. Now, requesting for a fee waiver will not disadvantage your candidacy in any way. Now, to request for a fee waiver via the Common App, you have two options. The first is to select in response to the fee waiver question within the fee/fee waiver section of the Common application. Your school counselor must approve your fee waiver request electronically through the Common App or via email. That's the first option. Then the second option is to select yes in response to the pre-approved fee waiver question within the .mod question section of the Common App. So it means that you will need a school counselor. Now, since you need a counselor to approve of your application fee waiver, I will advise that you reach out to any of the admissions team and then request for a counselor. So they're going to assign a counselor to you. Now you can reach out to the International Recruitment Officer, Alison Duke. She's in charge of international recruitment. So you can reach out to her and then let her know that you were seeking for application waiver and you need a counselor. I'm sure she will direct you as to what to do with your application and then you're good to go. So this is for the undergraduate level. Now let's look at the graduate level. For the graduate program, we'll be looking at the Tax School of Business, which is basically an MBA program. They also have a pre and post MBA programs in healthcare delivery sciences and advanced management programs. So if you're interested in any of this, you can also follow me and we move on. So we'll be looking at the application process, the application deadlines, the fee waivers available, and the scholarships for funding your education for your MBA here. So first of all, let's look at the application deadlines. Okay, so for the round 1, round 2, and round 3 application deadline, we have 26th of September 2024, 6th of January 2025, and 26th of March 2025 respectively. Okay, so they have the admission decision date also here and then the enrollment deposit due here. Now we're going to look at the application process. You first fill your application form. That's a tag application. On clicking on this, it gives you the form and you fill it. And applicants can also apply through the consortium of graduate study in management. Okay, so there's two ways in submitting your application, either directly to the tag School of Business, or you can apply through the consortium for graduate study in management, whichever way it is accepted. Then On your application, you will be asked to share your long-term and short-term professional goals in 50 words or less. So kindly jot that down. Then you'll be required to submit GMAT or GRE. However, this test can be waived. So to be eligible for a GMAT or GRE waiver, then you must currently have at least 2 years of postgraduate professional work experience, be a native English speaker, or qualify for their English language proficiency test waiver. You should demonstrate strong quantitative and analytical competency through your academic and or professional experience. You should have an open, unsubmitted application process your request. While they process your request, you shouldn't submit your application. So you first have to submit the waiver, then they will process it. Okay. Now you should send the waiver at least 12 business days before the deadline. So once they give you the go ahead that the application, the GRE or GMAT has been waived, then you can submit your application. Now they've given deadlines for when you should submit your test waivers to be evaluated. Okay. Then English proficiency will also be required from you. Now for you to be eligible for a waiver, you should have earned a bachelor's degree from an institution where English is the sole language of instruction. You do not need to seek our approval or submit documentation to prove eligibility of this waiver. You should indicate eligibility with the checkbox in the education section of your application. So when applying on the common application, when you are submitting your application, you just have to tick you're eligible for an English proficiency test waiver and you're good to submit your application. You'll be required to submit, or you'll be asked about your educational information, where the name of your institution where you pursue your undergraduate degree will be asked. The degree will also be asked. Your major and then your GPA will also be requested. For the transcript, you have to upload a copy of your academic transcript for every undergraduate and graduate school you attended in the undergraduate degree and other school sections of the application. So that then your employment history will also be requested. You'll be required to list the last 4 employers that you have worked with in the application process. Then you have to upload your resume. They've given guidelines as to how to write your resume. So you are good to go. Then you have to submit 3 essays. The first essay will be why you're pursuing an MBA and why now. How would the distinct TAC MBA contribute to achieving your goals and aspirations in 300 words? The second essay is tell us who you are. How have your value and experiences shaped your identity and character? How will your background contribute to the diverse TAC culture and community? Also in 300 words. And the last essay will be describe a time you meaningfully contributed to someone else's sense of inclusion in your professional or personal community, also in 300 words. So these are the essays you write. Now, if you are reapplying again, there is also an essay, and then there is an optional essay, which is provide an additional insight or information that you have not addressed elsewhere. Example, a typical choice of reference: factors affecting academic performance, unexplained job gaps or changes. And then you complete this question only if you feel your candidacy is not fully represented by this application. Also in 300 words, okay? So those are the essays you will have to write. You need letters of references. It's normal. These things are normal, okay? Now for the letters of references in your application, you will have to give the name and the email of your references. Those who are going to refer you. Some of the questions they are going to ask your referees will be to provide a brief description of your interaction with the applicant and, if applicable, the applicant role in your organization. So this geared towards your professional reference. Then the second question they will ask them is how does the applicant's performance compare to that of other well-qualified individuals in similar roles? You provide specific examples in 500 words. The third question is to describe the most important piece of constructive feedback you have given the applicant. Please detail the circumstance and the applicant's response. And the last is optional, and that is if there is anything else they should know, your reference should be able to tell them. So these are the questions they're going to ask your reference. They've also given some guidelines as to choosing your reference, so you can also take a look at that. Now to the application fee. There's an MBA program, so application fee would definitely be high. So the application fee for this MBA program is $250 US. However, there is an application fee waiver. Now, the application fee are automatically waived for some group of people. For international students, the group of people we fall under will be the first generation college graduates. Neither parents receive a 4-year college degree. So if both your parents have not received a 4-year college degree, then you fall under this group. And how would they know? They will get to know through your application. I mean, when filling the application form, they will get to know of this. The second group of people that application fee can be waived for the international student is citizens of countries on the United Nations list of least developed countries. So if your country is among this list, then your application fee is also waived for you. Now, if you don't know if you are part of this list, let me read it out to you. So if you are a citizen of Kiribati, Tuvalu, Solomon Islands, Laos People Democratic Republic, Cambodia, Myanmar, Timor-Leste, Bangladesh, Nepal, Afghanistan, Lesotho, Mozambique, Malawi, Madagascar, Comoros, United Republic of Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Yemen, Eritrea, South Sudan, Chad, Niger, Mali, Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Burkina Faso, Togo, Benin, Sao Tome and Principe, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Angola, Zambia, and Haiti, then your application fee will automatically be waived for you. Okay, so that is basically all about the application process. I'll leave links to these in my description so you check them out. Now, to the scholarships and other forms of funding, they have fellowships and then sponsorships as well. TAG School of Business itself has some form of scholarship for their students, and there are other funding as well. Now, for the TAG School of Business, the scholarship range from 10,000 US dollars to full tuition, with the average being 30,000 and 65,000 US dollars per academic year. Scholarships are automatically renewed in the second year, provided that the satisfactory academic record is maintained throughout the first year at TAG. Okay, now there is also scholarship for those who apply through the consortium for graduate study in management. There is also a scholarship which is up to a full tuition fee. There is also the fourth funding, and then reach out MBA funding as well. There is also this funding, and there is funding for those who are not able to get scholarship or funding for their first year. There is an opportunity for them to also apply to the second year scholarship. Then there are sponsorships as well. So there are so many scholarships available for those who want to study the MBA program at TAG School of Business. So this is basically all about today's video. Now, that is not all. For the other graduate programs also, there are funding and there are great opportunities. So if you are interested in any of this, other master's programs and then PhD programs, there are funding as well, so you can go through them. I can't go through all the programs because of time, and so I have to go through some of them. Okay, so I'll leave links to the other programs also in my description. You can go through them, and if you are interested in applying to them, you can also take a look at that and submit your application. So that is basically all for today's program. Thank you so much if you have stayed till now, and the name is Kisiwa, and see you in my next video. It's a bye for now.